I'm just going to jump right into this one. This one is from the relationship advice subreddit. She's 32, he's 35. She says, I think I have to break up with my fiance after he embarrassed me in public over a sandwich. She says, I think there's a lot of layers to this situation that makes it feel like this has to be the end. My partner and I have been together for over 9 years. And honestly, the first 4 to 5 years were awesome. I had genuinely never felt this way about anyone in my life, but things started going south after that. I started to realize that he had always had an excuse for not helping me cook or clean the house, no matter how much I begged and pleaded for help. He started making me feel like going to see my family was inconveniencing him. He makes snide remarks the whole time and just makes the entire trip miserable to the point of me crying. I know that might sound dumb, but I've even started having panic attacks because of how bad he makes the holidays. He doesn't attempt to communicate in a healthy way, and honestly, feels like he waits until the very last moment until he'll apologize, if he does. I've been on the last straw mark for a few years now, but I always end up forgiving him because, I love him. It's kind of like the saying, when it's great, it's really great, but when it's bad, it's really bad. Now, just based on this first paragraph alone, there's no reason to stay with this man. She's doing all of the cooking, the cleaning. She's miserable. He makes going to visit her family terrible. She hasn't said anything amazing about this man and why it is a good and healthy relationship to stay in, even before the sandwich situation. But let's get to the point of the post. She says, okay, so now let's move on to a few days ago when he lost his in public over a sandwich. We had the same day off, so we decided to run some errands and go to a sandwich shop for lunch afterwards. Honestly, the first half of the day was great until it was time for lunch. We walked in, and because it was noon, the place was packed, and unfortunately, there was only one person working, so we had to wait in line for about 20 minutes. Is it frustrating waiting in line that long? Yes, but I tried to make things as positive as I could because I know he gets irritated easily. So she's having to walk around on eggshells for a situation that she didn't create. So she knows that this is abusive behavior. We kind of overheard the employee tell others in front of us that some ingredients were either out or completely or just had gone bad. It honestly could have been because of the hurricane outage the week before. We didn't get hit horribly, but some did lose power, and I'm also not 100% sure on what was going on. Also, for a little backstory, I had an ex that worked at this particular sandwich chain, and he got me onto this sandwich that I've been eating since I was about 18 or 19, and I introduced it to my current fiance, and we just always get the same thing anytime we go there. So finally, it's our turn, and we get everything started, bread, meat, cheese, and throw it in the toaster. She brings it out, and I tell her the next ingredient, lots of spinach. She looks at me and breaks the news that the spinach has gone bad. Bummer, but whatever. It's not the end of the world, right? My fiance standing next to me goes, are you effing serious? Dude, F this. She did this on purpose. We're effing leaving. Come on. And then just storms out and leaves me standing in the shop while everyone in the entire place stops and is either watching the situation or is looking uncomfortable. Just think of how you feel when you see a Karen in the wild. But it was my partner. I just want to throw this little side note in here. I have extreme social anxiety as well, and he knows, and he is absolutely aware of the severity of it. So I'm standing there and quietly tell the employee that he's upset, and I think we might just head out, and she hits me with, nah, if you leave, I'm calling the cops. My anxiety gets even worse. The cops? WTF. I look at my phone, and my partner has texted me, get that food, and we're done. The cops, and I'm being broken up with. I text him that he left me in a bad situation and he knows how bad my anxiety is, and the employee hits me with, I can't believe you would come in here, know that we're low on ingredients, and then waste what little we have. Right here, though, this employee can see that this is probably an abusive situation, and she's probably making it worse. If this is a real Reddit story, that if someone is in an abusive relationship and you threaten to call the cops, that will only exacerbate the abuse if somebody is actually being abused. All she can see is the verbal abuse, but somebody that is going through something like this could very well be physically abused when not in public. She continues with, she's right though. I was seriously just going to get lettuce instead of spinach, but now I'm standing here being threatened by everyone for something I didn't even do. I get another text from my partner. F it, find someone else to come get you. Great. I'm now stranded here. I finished building the sandwiches, pay, and try to hide behind my bag of food, hoping that he's still there, and thankfully he is. Unfortunately, he decided to take his anger on me and for like 15 minutes straight. The whole ride home, this man blamed me, told me that I'm not a team player and that I chose my side while screaming at me at the top of his lungs. I was bawling. I haven't spoken to him in like 3 days. He sent me a text about how sorry he was, but I'm feeling fed up with all of it. I also have a family event tomorrow that I guess I can't make because he's got the only vehicle, so I'm going to have to disappoint my family once again. I don't know. I'm just stressed out and I'm not sure what to do anymore. If you made it to the end of this, thank you for just letting me vent. And if you have any advice, I would love to hear it. So I checked. This woman hasn't made any follow-up comments. And she hasn't made any update posts or anything. So I don't know if she's staying or leaving. But this is emotional and mental abuse. I don't know if he's ever escalated, but this is not who you want to spend the rest of your life with. And she's already said she's on her last straw. Hopefully she pulls that last straw and starts to try to figure out how to disengage, get her ducks in a row, figure out her living situation, and work on getting out of there because this is not healthy. I'm not doing many of the comments. I am going to do this one. Lola says, girl, what? It's over. This is insane behavior. You really want this to be your life? Being screamed at, threatened, belittled, disrespected. This grown man doesn't cook, doesn't clean, makes you and your family feel like a burden, makes you cry a lot. I know you have anxiety, but I assumed confrontation is hard for you, but you need to do this for yourself, for your dignity, for your safety. The way he behaves is unacceptable. The way he spoke to you is unacceptable, and you never want to see him again. If you're close with your family, give them a call. I don't know how far you live from them, but if my sister called me and said she broke up with her fiance and she was stranded and wanted to come to family dinner, I would drop everything and come get her. Doesn't matter if the drive is 20 minutes or 2 hours. Do not take him back. This is, at best, extremely toxic and immature behavior, and at its worst and most likely abusive behavior that will escalate. I'm worried for your safety, to be honest. I don't think you should see him alone in person again. I'm really mind-boggled that you don't clearly see how wrong he is and how bad a relationship this is. But I know it's hard to identify problems when you're living in them. Don't think that you've spent too much time with him or invested too much to let him go. That's BS. You've got so much time, so much life left to live. Staying with someone who's bad for you is way worse than being alone. Reach out to people who love you for support. Stay away from this man and flourish. Wishing you the best. And with that, I'm going to end this one. If you are in this situation, if you're in a situation where someone starts fights, blames you for things that are out of your control, makes holidays or special events terrible, please consider that you deserve better than this. Join the conversations, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and drop any advice for the people who may be watching, and recognize and understand that yes, it is sometimes hard to walk away even when the signs are clearly this bad. This is no time frame to be like, how stupid are you to stay with somebody? They are already beating themselves up and they get beat down enough from the people in their lives. So please don't be that type of person. All right, y'all, like, comment, and share. Since it is election season and dating is always a hot topic, I thought that this was a great post to have a discussion about. This was in Ask Women Over 30 subreddit. She says, how do so many women date or have ex with men at odds with their political beliefs? She says, hello, everyone. I like to know why so many women end up in relationships where the guy is clearly at odds with their own personal beliefs. I've met a lot of women who are pro-gay marriage, pro-choice, and the guy they are dating is not and is clearly homophobic. My question is how? These topics seem like such a huge issue that someone can deal with, and when two people are not on the same page, it seems strange. Strange as in, what do you guys talk about? I think it is literally because these conservative men These men know at this particular juncture that women are more liberal, so they mask, they lie. It's simply a manipulation tactic until they get their hooks in women, and then they start letting their true beliefs show. They start letting the mask fall off a little bit. So it's like anything. They know that their beliefs are not particularly popular with women these days, so they don't show them. They don't put it on there. They don't always put that they are Christian conservative or MAGA on their dating profile. They lie. And if you are straight, like sometimes some of these things don't come up until something happens, and then it makes the conversation happen. If you're a straight couple, you're not always just coming out asking about LGBTQ rights. You're not always asking about the pro-choice versus pro-life debate within the third or fifth conversation. You're just not. But that's what I think. I do want to know what you think. And I'm going to get into some of these comments. Baked Bree says, my mom does this. They never work out. The answer, she has a thriving career in a conservative area. The dating pool is limited. She would like a person, but they never work out. She is friends with a few still because they like certain non-political activities like hiking, birding, etc. They sometimes bounce their crazy off her, ask her questions about things they read. I honestly think deep down they know what they believe is a bit off, and she is far more educated than them. She will just say, oh my God, no, that isn't real, but not push too much. I Can Get Loud Too said, that's so sad. I feel like online dating was invented for situations like this, but guys lie on there now. So it's like we have no way to meet people we actually have stuff in common with, especially when it comes to values. I met my ex-husband in church, and he abused me more than any atheist or agnostic guy ever. Men just pretend to be who they think we want them to be so they can get free X and a nurse in a purse and a place to stay. I Can Get Loud Too is the one who tagged me on this, and clearly she's been watching the videos. Baked Bree says, yeah, but she's black. A lot of guys outrace preference to not include black, which is sad, but telling. Just aren't that many liberal, active, fun, 65-year-old guys in her area. The age-appropriate ones tend to be conservative. Oishio says, because the values that a lot of women have don't personally impact them in a direct way that they recognize as a threat. And they are willing to compromise those values to get to their own emotional, physical, social, economic, etc. needs met. In my opinion, this is the reason for the large disparity between, white women and black women's voting patterns too. White women are far more likely to betray stated values and vote Republican if they feel it's in their best interest. A straight woman who is pro-gay marriage isn't personally affected by whether or not it is legal. A middle-class white woman who can travel if she needs a termination isn't directly affected in a meaningful way in the day-to-day if it becomes illegal. If she lives in an area where most men in her social circles hold values against her beliefs, they are also likely to hold misogynistic values, which means staying single and not having children has negative social repercussions. And it might also not be feasible to get all your needs met. The ability to independently be single is a privilege. Single is expensive. They accept the steep beliefs because it is of minimal damage to them individually, and it's just the price they pay to get other things they want. This part right here, the ability to be independently single is a privilege. Single is expensive. This is one of the reasons why they get so mad at educated women who are career focused, because those women could peace out at any particular point when things are not particularly amazing in a relationship. Physical Stress says, I also know several women with husband politics where they parrot their husband's views with no insight into the issue. They voted how their parents voted and now how their partner votes. So frustrating. Voting is such a profound act when you think of what people have gone through to get to it. To throw it away seems like sacrilege. Copyright right there, or copyright her, says, I'm from the deep south, can confirm this. No Tart says, I like to think these women outwardly present this way because it is socially and sometimes physically safer to not express dissent. But then when they go into the polling booth where no one else can see them and no one else will ever know how they truly voted, they finally choose their own freedom and vote for better rights for themselves and those around them. Sadly, election results don't support this fairy tale view, but a girl can dream. Okay, so Slinky Slecker says, not everyone has a developed sense of self. Character development, ethics, morality, values, these are things that we learn from family or through education. If we were not taught these things by somebody, people can make choices that go against their best interests. Too many people are just winging it instead of reflecting on whether they are in alignment with their values. For me, personally, I absolutely would never date or even befriend someone of a different political persuasion since Trump. I'm biracial. Racism is a no-go for me. I literally became a lawyer to protect my family from racists. I live my values every day and won't let Republican values near my world. I'm past my mid-century mark. Life is too short now to waste it with those who hate and oppress others. My politics reflect my values. I really wanted to get to this. My politics reflect my values. For me also, politics is personal and personal is political, all because everything that these people, Republicans, are doing in my stance are anti-everything me. They are anti-education. They want a theocracy. I'm agnostic. They are doing everything to roll back DEI, which impact what we have gained through the civil rights and feminist movements. Everything against what I believe in. There is zero chance that I would ever try to same sides or, just agree to disagree with a Republican or a Trump supporter. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because like she said, my politics reflect my values. Politics is personal for me. Y'all join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. There is a lot of social media discourse around having kids or not having kids. One of the very, very important things that is also happening is that women are speaking on the day-to-day of what it means to be a mom. So this was posted in the Beyond the Bump subreddit. She asked she says, how life changes for mom versus dad after the baby. She says, after a particularly rough day, I was having a discussion with my husband about how much my life changed after becoming a mom, almost like my whole life is being a mom. He says his life changed a bunch after becoming a father too, which I don't disagree with. But when I asked him the biggest way his life changed, he says he's trying more at work. I didn't know what to say because it feels like my entire world got flipped upside down. I feel there is so much that is unseen about the mom experience, how lonely it is, expectations, etc. I was having a hard time putting it into words. So what changed when you became a mom that fathers may not understand and vice versa? For me, it is like thinking about everything 2 days or 2 steps away. So you know that you have an appointment to get to. So that means that you have to be asleep by this time. You got to make sure that the clothes are here. You got to make sure that you work out by this time so that you can get out of here by this. But you got to make sure you put the clothes in. So there's like all of these steps that go along. And that is literally, I believe, a woman's brain, because we are socialized to do all of this. We got to make sure that everything, like if you don't have that one particular thing, is going to throw off everything else. If you don't know where the keys are or where that shoe is, everything kind of gets thrown out of whack. It is all of the steps that, we do that are invisible that goes into making motherhood look seamless or look easy, to where the men are like, man, being a parent isn't that hard. Well, it's because you don't have to do you don't do all of the things that make it go smoothly, the unseen things. Some of the comments, Mustang Sally says, I still have trouble putting it into words. I love this person more than I imagine, and I put my needs last without a second thought. But you don't get any accolades or gratitude for that. So it feels empty, but still rewarding somehow. I never get told I'm a good mom or, hey, thanks for always making sure there's toilet paper and English muffins and etc. in the cabinet, while also leaking fluids and hearing phantom baby cries all day. But deep down, I know I'm doing a good job because I have a healthy, happy kid. High tide, low tide, repeat. Running Nico says, yes, being a mom is the most selfless and thankless job out there. Of course, we chose this life, but it's so rough when no one acknowledges the sacrifices mothers make on a daily basis. I'm proud of all you moms out there. Know that we understand each other, and I like to think that somewhere out there, many others are thanking the mothers around their lives. You all rock. Now, where's Lord Barrick says, it's so funny when child-free people insist being a parent is selfish. Like, yes, Linda, making school lunches while operating on 3 hours of broken sleep and bleeding lochia for the 9th week and pumping through cracked nipples to get my supply up, having nothing to eat all day but the crust of PB&J sandwich that I had to clean up off the floor anyway because I'm such a selfish see you next Tuesday. I think this woman is mad at the wrong people. Child-free people react to being called selfish all the time. And women need to move past this and just stop the wars between moms and child-free people. Tall brown girl says, I feel this deeply now. Baby is 12 weeks. We are first-time parents. I definitely carry more of the burden with appointments, baby development, milestones. I wash his bottles, pump his milk, do all his laundry. My example, I was in the shower one day while husband was watching the baby. Baby was on the floor on his mat doing tummy time. I was upstairs and my husband was in the kitchen putting something in the oven for dinner. We have an open concept home so you can see the baby on the mat while still in the kitchen. I come downstairs and ask where the baby is. Husband points down and says he is doing tummy time, but he keeps ending up on his back. I flipped him 3 times now. I gasped, elated, and said, oh my God, he's done his first roll. That's such a big deal. He's early. My husband not only missed his first rolls, when it kept happening, he just got frustrated, putting baby back on his belly and didn't even know how it was a big milestone. LOL. Now, this literally just goes to women knowing and understanding more about what is going on with the kiddos. But like they said, moms, you rock. Ladies, you rock. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all these. And don't forget to like, comment, and share.